Yeah, this is a little bit delayed because UK and Irish audiences have already seen Skyfall and made up their mind about it. So I'm guessing this is going to be aimed at the American audiences who I don't, or the audience who have yet to see Skyfall. I don't think it's out there. Maybe it came out this week. I don't know, I haven't checked. Anyway, yeah, so here are my thoughts on Skyfall. Actually, before I give you my thoughts on Skyfall, I kind of want to talk a little bit about the action. Excuse me. I want to talk a little bit about the action genre first. Typically now I'm simplifying this. Let me just say that. I'm simplifying this right now. Okay, anyway, I'm rambling more than I normally do. This is why I don't do videos unscripted that often. Anyway, I generally find that there are three kinds of action films. There are the big, over-the-top spectacle action films that just want to blow shit up and throw realism out the window. Then there are the kind of action films where they try to ground it as much as in reality as you can with an action film. And then there's the third class of action film. The action film that kind of does it half and half. Wants to have a serious story but still throw the spectacle in. It's this kind of action film that I find I don't like. Now, I am not saying that this kind of action film can't be done right. A recent example of it is Super 8. But a movie like Super 8 that has a tender coming of age story that's kind of grounded in reality, mixed with a big over the top action spectacle, is rare to get right. Super 8 did it, although I could have done without that cheesy ending when he produces the locket of his dead mother and that's what sends the alien back to space or kills it. I can't remember which. I do remember hating that ending and I had to resist jumping up in the cinema screaming symbolism. It also reminded me of that joke that first popped up in the Nostalgia Critic review for Moonwalker, you know, the I've been defeated by the power of love gag. Yeah, but when you're being reminded of two comedy critics on the internet, it's a real case of movie endings, you're doing them wrong. So yeah, that's my little rant observation on the action genre. So now that you know my philosophy when it comes to action films, I just want to say I really enjoyed Skyfall. Skyfall was one of those rare action films that had a story grounded in reality that could also have spectacle. In this movie, James Bond is fighting an international cyber criminal played by Javier Bardem, whose main motivation isn't for megalomania or to dominate the world. His main motivation is to get revenge on M because he feels that M has wronged him. He's kind of like a spoiled child who's having a temper tantrum against his mother because she didn't hug him enough. And also, it's this son-mother relationship that it's actually kind of central to the story because Bond has a similar relationship to M. Because, big spoiler, if you've not seen the movie, and if you're American and you've yet to see the movie, well obviously if you've yet to see the movie it's not out there yet, or I think it's not out there yet. Anyway, I'd press stop right now, because this is a big spoiler. At the end of this movie, M dies, and it is one of the most powerful scenes I've seen in a movie. Bond actually sheds a tear. That's how much of the relationship that him and M have in this movie, and it's really explored, and it's explored well. It hits you over the head with it a little bit, but not as much as it could. Also in this movie, it is revealed that Bond is an orphan. Again, this moment is done a lot more subtly than you would expect. It's not melodramatic, it's not over the top, it's done correctly. It gives you just enough time for it to sink in, but, you know, yeah, it's not melodramatic. I'm repeating myself. Anyway, what else do I want to say about this film? Oh yeah, Javier Bardem deserves an Oscar for his portrayal as the hacker criminal person. He manages to both be quite camp and effeminate, and yet be as menacing as Hannibal Lecter. It really is amazing how good Javier Bardem is in this movie. If the Oscars weren't so far up their ass, they'd nominate Javier Bardem for an Oscar, but it's Bond, it's not serious enough, so you know he probably won't get it. Although now that I've got in Cameron saying that he won't get it, he'll probably get nominated, and I look a bigger idiot than I already do. Yeah, this is a bit rambling, but fuck it, it's a vlog, who cares? Well, I'm not editing this. Fucking shut up, Mikey. Anyway, what did I want to say? Oh yeah, the introduction to this movie is brilliant. It is so insanely entertaining. It has a motorbike chase that features a rooftop portion. It has two people fighting on a train, which is Bond and some guy that he's pursuing. I can't remember the character's name. If it's given, I don't know. Anyway, they're fighting on a train and there's all these diggers. I know that's not the correct term for that construction building ship, but we call them diggers in Ireland, so I'm going to call them diggers. Anyway, he hops into this digger and takes the roof off a commuter train. Then after doing that, Bond hops out of the fucking digger, yes, digger, that's the word I was looking for, and proceeds to fight the guy on it. It's just a very well paced, expertly shot action scene. And you know why? They invested in a tripod. It doesn't have that shaky cam bullshit. You can actually see what happens in it. I'm of the school of thought that a little shaky cam is fine, but when you abuse it, unless you're Paul Greengrass, the action is normally shit, unfocused, and just gets fucking distracting. What problems did I have with the movie? Well, there's a central plot in it where Javier Bardem steals the identities of all these MI6 agents and is going to leak them onto YouTube, and he does 5 of them, and then that plot line is just dropped. I don't know if it's explained in the movie or whether they're going to pick this up for the next one, you know, the person who actually he sold it to. I don't know, it wasn't made clear. If the movie wasn't that fast paced and enjoyable, I probably would have hated this movie more. But, you know, it zips along quite quickly and you don't notice the time passing. And like nearly 2.5 hours, that is the sign of a well-judged movie. And all of this praise is coming from a person who doesn't really enjoy the James Bond movies. Though, I guess when I got into them, the reason I don't... Or not when I got into them, I guess the reason I don't like them is because when I was younger, the first Bond I encountered was Pierce Brosnan. And I think most people can agree, maybe aside from GoldenEye, that yeah, his movies were fucking stupid. I mean, did you see Die Another Day when he fucking got into the invisible car? I remembered enjoying them when I was younger. But yeah, I'd say if I was to watch those movies back now, in fact, I know if I was to watch those movies back now, I could make a whole video bitching about everything that's wrong with them. So, yeah, that was my vlog review type thing. Aren't I great with English? Yeah, anyway, that was my review of Skyfall, the new James Bond film. I'd highly suggest that you go check it out.